Shogalog here. I'm assuming that, providing you haven't been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you have watched the Channel 4 debate between Professor Jordan Peterson and interviewer and noted feminist Cathy Newman. I won't sport with your patience by talking you through it, partly because I can't include clips from the interview without the risk of a copyright strike, but mainly because I want to highlight the controversy that happened afterwards. I have linked the YouTube video below. Shortly after the debate aired on television, the media was alive with reports. Not about the debate itself, but about the so-called abuse that Cathy Newman is supposed to have received in the comments section of the Channel 4 website. You can see on the screen just some of the headlines of the online articles. They all have a common theme. Cathy Newman has apparently received such a vast avalanche of abusive comments, including threats of violence, that Channel 4 have had to employ some security expert to ensure her safety. A lot of them state that Professor Peterson has followers in the alt-right community, which is their way of implying that he has alt-right sympathies himself. They all try to darken his name and paint Cathy Newman as the innocent victim of all this bile. Not one of these articles explains how Cathy Newman was comprehensively defeated in the debate, because she kept misrepresenting Professor Peterson's position in the most ridiculous ways, and he trounced her with facts and a well-thought-out, logical position. That was all conveniently forgotten. I'm only the latest of several interlopers who have pointed this out. Milo Yiannopoulos, for example, does an excellent job deconstructing the media campaign against the man. Like them, I must point out that Professor Peterson has stated on his Twitter account that it is wrong simply to send abusive comments to someone, and that he would far prefer people to send her reasoned arguments explaining why she was wrong. Jordan Peterson is only the latest of a long line of public figures who have pleaded with their supporters not to send abuse to their opponents. Content creators like Independent Man, Miss Misa and Bering either put a card at the front of their videos stating that sending abusive comments is morally wrong and unacceptable, or stated in their videos, or both. And yet viewers still do it. Why? Are they stupid? They surely can't claim they've never seen a content producer warn them against it, so they are either deliberately nasty, or they have some deeper agenda. And here is my theory, for what it's worth. I think a large number of the people who've abused Cathy Newman online, and before her people such as the MP Jess Phillips and the actress Leslie Jones, are actually secret supporters of these people, working deep undercover. Here's how the battle plan works out. Some lefty progressive engages in a debate in the public sphere with a member of the free-thinking community, and, of course, loses hands down. This triggers her supporters to send abusive tweets and comments on platforms like Reddit and 4chan using a variety of false flag accounts set up in fake names, knowing that it will be the abuse that the left-leaning media will report on, not the debate itself. They know that if they fight fair by discussing the issues reasonably, then they will lose. Their narrative will not stand up to any real scrutiny. So they move the battle onto more favorable terrain for them by painting their defeated champion as a victim of the howling mob. They avoid the spotlight of public examination by playing the victim card. In the months and years to come, thanks to the biased media headlines, nobody will remember the fact that Jordan Peterson triumphed over Cathy Newman using sensible arguments. People will only remember that his supporters, who are all Nazis, of course, hounded the poor woman on social media. I'm not suggesting that the subjects of the abuse specifically asked to be trolled. When Jess Phillips, for example, said that she was extremely distressed at receiving all this verbal abuse, I'm sure she was genuine and really did suffer at the hands of the trolls. I would go so far as to say that the trolls themselves don't care about the feelings of these people as much as they care about defending the narrative. If some women, even though they're feminists, have to be reduced to tears in the process, well, that's too bad. It is vital to spike the guns of the critics even though there are some casualties in the process. Now I have no proof that this is the case. The only fact that I can bring to the case is the ineffectiveness of content producers who beg their viewers not to play into their critics' hands with this storm of abuse. It doesn't matter how much we point out that abuse is morally unjustifiable and counterproductive, it still happens. That would make perfect sense if the people doing it were the social media equivalent of fifth columnists. Either that, or they're really, really stupid, in which case we really wouldn't want them on our side anyway. Shog out.